Coming at you from Los Angeles, California, this is Mike from Astro. Hit that like and subscribe button, press that bell, and there's information down in the description in case you'd care for a consultation from yours truly.
So Jupiter is by far the most beloved planet in all of astrology. Especially if you go back towards the ancient texts, Jupiter is considered to be, quote-unquote, a benefic planet, which is a very black and white way of describing what Jupiter entails. People love Jupiter. Students of astrology welcome Jupiter transits, they welcome Jupiter aspects, they consider Jupiter to be very lucky and to bless whatever it touches. From a religious or descriptive standpoint of Jupiter, that would appear to be true, but I'm here to tell you a couple things about Jupiter that's going to challenge your perception of what that planet means, what that planet does, and how that planet operates. So today we're going to be talking about the true essence of Jupiter, the dark side of the most benefic planet in astrology. So Jupiter traditionally rules Sagittarius and Pisces, and it's the largest planet in our solar system. It's a large, gassy ball of wonderful, and it represents many things actually. It represents luck, optimism, hope, expansion, religion. Religion's ruled by Jupiter. Fortunate circumstances. It's our hope for the future and the expansion of the mind. And for the most part, that is accurate for Jupiter. But there's a reason that Pisces is considered to also be under the influence of Jupiter as well, and there are some negative associations with Pisces. Pisces is actually considered to be the dark side of Jupiter. Jupiter is dichotomous like every single other planet, and Jupiter can do some pretty intense things whenever it comes into contact with another natal planet in the natal chart or in transit, what have you. Jupiter by its nature expands things. If there's something really good going on in a particular situation, if there is a particular configuration of planets that is considered to be benefic, then Jupiter's involvement only expands those negative qualities. And there's also a dark side to this, because Jupiter by expansion can also expand negative attributes. It can expand, if it's in contact with the sun, it can expand your ego. If it's in contact with Mars, it can expand your risk-taking mentality. Jupiter doesn't always lead to the best outcomes. There's a reason that the dark side of Jupiter is Pisces, because unfounded optimism. Doing things just for the sake of doing them because you have this belief that's unfounded in truth or facts that everything will turn out all right. When Jupiter comes into particular houses during transit, it can be very detrimental. Like, just let's say, for instance, Jupiter right now is currently going through my 7th house, and while relationships have been heightened and issues related to relationships have been expanded, also the problems related to relationships have been absolutely blown out of proportion as well. Jupiter and its association with risks is also very important, and overlooking that sheer fact is not advised. Jupiter being in square to Mars in the natal chart can produce a huge risk taker, or somebody that begins to start projects with the best of intentions but simply does not follow through. Jupiter in aspect to the sun particularly, I was actually just discussing this with another woman who I continually work with on my channel, by the name of Ellie Mae, and she was discussing with me the trine between Jupiter and a more aggressive masculine planet like the Sun or Mars. When your ego feels like it can do anything unrestrained because everything's just going to end up okay, or nothing can really come around to hurt you or affect you in any negative sense, Jupiter shows its ugly side in that manner. Jupiter being involved with a lot of planets via easy aspects like the trine or the sextile is very prominent in the charts of people who have very extensive criminal backgrounds as a result of carelessness, or just doing things for the sake of doing them because you need something to happen. Jupiter can get you stuck in some really bad situations. Jupiter is also very prominent in the chart of narcissists, especially if it's making a lot of aspects to the social planets, like let's say the moon or Venus, because people will act in their relations with other people without thinking of the consequences, and it can come off as narcissistic. It can come off as just being careless with your emotions, careless with the emotions of other people. Also, if you look at transit Jupiter, let's say to like a Davison chart, if you see a particular part of the chart where there's a lot of stress, like let's say the sun has got a lot of highly stressful aspects in a Davison chart between two individuals. Whenever Jupiter passes over that point, it can signal a breakup because it takes those issues that are, for the most part, dormant and then blows them the fuck up. And all of a sudden those issues come to the fore. When Jupiter passes through your 12th house in transit, many times issues related to the 12th house all of a sudden rear their ugly head, like, I don't know, hidden substance abuse, mental issues. I mean, Jupiter in and of itself is lucky, so when these issues come about and they pop up, usually there's something that helps guide you through it, which is cool about Jupiter, but for the most part, it's bringing negative situations to the foray so that you can handle it. And usually you do have a little bit of luck in navigating the situation, but overall the situation is usually in past tense viewed as subjectively negative. Jupiter also can be related to religious fanaticism, because Jupiter is all about truth. But what is truth? Truth is just a view of how the world works based on your own perceptions, and your perceptions could vary tremendously from another person's. And with Jupiter's moralistic stance of I am right and my truth is the truth, it can create some really dangerous situations. Jupiter rules religion. Let's look at all of the horrors that organized religion has impacted upon humanity over the years. Those are all related to ninth house Jupiter. I wouldn't really call it Sagittarian, but ninth house or Jupiter issues. So I guess the whole point of this video is to just outline the fact that there are a lot of misconceptions related to Jupiter and how Jupiter operates within somebody's chart in esoteric astrology as well as mundane astrology. Jupiter makes you not look before you leap. Jupiter makes you feel like you're always right. And in many cases, that mentality, that confidence, it can be really beneficial if you are utilizing it appropriately. If you look at most of the interpretations of Jupiter transits, they tell you, especially like Robert Hand's planets in transit, usually any type of interaction between Jupiter in transit to another planet or vice versa, it states the feeling of optimism may be very high, but you need to really, really look before you leap because you could reap some serious consequences of your actions later on. I mean, I have some very strong Jupiter aspects in my chart, and the amount of recklessness that I employed in my youth, I can attribute almost solely to what Jupiter does in my natal chart. And I've had to pay for them quite dearly later on in life, which is fine. You live and you learn. Jupiter also is very much about experience. Jupiter is also very much about finding hardship through not thinking first so that you can learn to think more appropriately, clearly, and more in a more mercurial way down the line. So I hope this was helpful. I do offer consultations. I will be posting information down at the bottom in the description so that you can contact me. And until next time.